We are live, guys. This is going to be an interesting one. Hey, guys, Jacob here for our final day of the Star Wars Marathon for charity and for suicide prevention. My name is Jacob London, and I am joined by my two special guests, Kristen Smith. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's been weird couple minutes trying to figure out how to do this stuff. But that's cool. It's cool. I'm learning.
And Matthew Kearns, you're back after missing out on yesterday.
I'm doing great. I'm all ready to watch Empire. This is my favorite film of all time. You guys can't tell. I got my Luke Skywalker Best Ben Fatigue shirt on. I got a lightsaber. I'm all ready to go.
Well, we are watching Empire Strikes Back. This is one of the greatest films ever made. I absolutely adore it. We will hit and yeah, I think we'll just start this. Don't need to do any dialogue or prelude. Let's just start this one, eh? All right.
Yeah.
But actually, sorry, no. Before we do start, if you are, with the whole reason we're here is we are trying to raise money for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. If you are able to and can afford to, please donate what you have and donate what you can. We're at $335 at the moment. We're trying to raise $1,000 by the end of the day. If you are able to, it would be absolutely amazing. So thank you. But if we can get to even just $500, I will be absolutely over the moon. So thank you guys for everything you have donated so far. But with all that said, let us start this movie. We hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, we have in the chat. Yep, we got Malcolm and Jonathan. So hello, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Who we got watching, guys? Use the chat. It is a dark time for the rebellion. Although the Death Star has been destroyed.
Thank you, Clone Wars.
Okay. Imperial troops have driven the rebel forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy.
I have a question, Jacob. Why did you not read any of the prequels?
Because they are really terribly written.
That's true. That's it. That's a good point.
And this is incredibly written.
That's true. Now, can I just say, now there is the line right here: the evil Lord Vader, Darth Vader, obsessed with finding young Skywalker. Now, in this Blu-ray DVD version, they have this stupid line exchange between the Emperor and Vader that we'll get to, where he's like, the young rebel who blew up the Death Star. As if Vader doesn't know Luke's the one who blew up the Death Star. So why the hell was he looking for him?
Reason.
Hi, Bobby. Hi, Christy. Thank you for joining our stream of Empire Strikes Back.
Before we went on a tangent, you had said use the chat, but you should have said use the chat.
God.
You missed out on a Star Wars quote. How dare
And we
you.
apologize. We will be doing Family Guy references through this one as well. Like, this one opens with the Jetsons.
Now, this is always something, ever since I was a kid, I was always confused. Do they redo this shot from Luke's perspective in a little bit, or is it an actual meteor, right, that he sees hit the ground?
I think they redo this. I think they redo the shot. I think that makes the most sense. Hey, Bomco Mix. Boco Mix. Jesus.
So actually, the funny thing is with these, with the Tauntauns and with the AT-ATs, the reason they look so good is all those are matte paintings by like a 16-year-old that came to ILM, who was just like an insane artist. Dennis Muren talks about that in Empire Dreams.
It's awesome.
And Irvin Kershner and like Gary Kurtz, they all talk, never shoot a movie in the snow. Ever.
It's the worst. Snow is literally the worst.
And yet they
Literally
did it
the
again
worst.
for Force Awakens.
Well, because the problem is that, like, especially for a special effects movie, because the black line, it's so easy to see when it's all white background.
Yeah.
I'm going back. All right, see you shortly. You're right there, hit the ground near here. I want you to get out.
All right, Josh. We will see you when you come. When you join
steady,
us back in a
girl.
bit. We'll give you a time
You
code
smell
when you come
something?
back. Just let us know. Cookie.
I love this Echo Base set.
Mm.
There's just so much going on.
I love this dialogue exchange that we will get in a second, because it instantly 100%. If you are not on board with this movie yet, like if you've never seen Star Wars or anything, this dialogue exchange tells you absolutely everything you need to know about both of your main characters, or two of your main characters.
You're right. Chewie does really come through on this dialogue.
I'll be.
I'm not good at Chewie noises.
All the meteorites in this is... I'll stop trying to quote the movie. Try is not the correct word. Actually quote it.
I was gonna say there is no try, but
I hate to lose you.
But like instantly, that just shows you.
Well, just this exchange is just everything. Well, Your Highness, looks like well, don't get all mushy on me so long, Princess. Han. Yes, Your Highnessness.
I thought you would decide to stay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that I was late to my favorite movie of all time, or the fact that, well, actually, no, there's nothing more embarrassing than that.
What precisely do you have? Come on. You want me to stay?
No quoting.
What?
Oh,
okay.
no.
Try not to quote every scene.
I am quoting every scene.
Come on. Am I? Hey, guys, you want some ice? I just as soon kiss George Takei.
Hello.
Hello. Now, this coming up, the treatment of Han and 3PO in this movie is hilarious. Just this scene.
Nobody knows.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Now, a lot of people have often asked, they're like, why would the rebels go to Hoth of all planets and, where there's like 0 below temperatures and all this? It's because that's the Empire would think they would be going to another Yavin 4 planet type, a nice, luscious, warm place, not this hell.
Frozen hell.
Oh,
See
and
you
look,
in hell.
there's
Hell.
Conrad's burger.
But no, what I love about that whole opening right there is that you instantly know everything about who Han Solo is. They have
If you didn't from the
instantly-
last movie.
No, I know, but someone who's never been on board, who's never gotten in before. And also, okay, this is something that got brought up yesterday that I saw in a chat was if say someone had never seen Star Wars before, what's the first movie you introduce them to with?
A New Hope.
A New Hope.
Empire.
Yeah, I'd say Empire.
No,
dare you.
here's my reasoning is you need to show them a New Hope because one, it sets up the world, it talks about what the Force is, what a lightsaber is, what the Falcon is, who the Empire is. Things like Luke calling out to Ben and all that, like, it doesn't really make sense to you. And even Luke as a character, you need to see where he started in A New Hope to where he is now in Empire to really understand his character. Because this is the middle part of a trilogy. This is Luke he is more developed, but he has a lot of work, and we see it perfectly in this scene. Luke at the beginning of New Hope would not be able to do this. However, we see later on, there's a lot of stuff that he can't do in this film that he can do in the next one.
My one counter to that, and I'll give you my only counter.
And I will probably counter that.
The opening half an hour of A New Hope for someone who has never watched a Star Wars movie before and who is not into sci-fi and is not in you're trying to get them onto Star Wars. A New Hope is not the movie to get them. This is a character drama, and you can actually get them in on the character.
So does that mean
Yeah.
someone who's never seen Harry Potter, who's not a real magic person, you show them Chamber of Secrets, not Sorcerer's Stone to start off with?
I'd show them Prisoner of Azkaban before I showed them before I showed them Philosopher's Stone.
It's Sorcerer's over here, Jacob. Just live with it.
Yeah.
And to counter
I
that,
have a counterpoint. So I was a person who was introduced to Star Wars, and where do you think I was started at? I was started at A New Hope, and I loved it. And I was young enough to where all that stuff you were saying wasn't interesting to people was interesting to me. So
Also, Jacob,
a lot of people are introduced to Star Wars with A New Hope, and it's a classic for a reason.
can I time out here? How was the entire universe introduced to Star Wars?
I know. Okay. All right. I am just going from an experience of someone not enjoying A New Hope and that being that turning them off Star Wars completely, but they loved Empire.
Fair enough.
That's why I go by that experience. Was that
This bickering is
it took
pointless.
me? I know it took me months
Because I
to
have a
convince
great
her
story
to
about
watch Empire.
this whole sequence with Mark Hamill was actually what had happened was, so they go out there planning to shoot it. There was a massive storm that day, and they were not able to get the whole crew and the cameras out. So what happened was Mark Hamill was sent out into the snow, and you have Irvin Kersh and all the camera people with the camera pointed outside the door of the hotel. And poor Mark Hamill in 0 below temperatures, with snow falling on top of him, had to go and pretend like he's run from the Wampa. Poor guy.
Trust me,
Not getting
hearing
credit.
Irvin Kershner describe that story in Empire of Dreams is hilarious.
Well, because he feels so bad for Mark Hamill, but it's like that's all they could do.
Oh, poor Chewie.
I love this movie, but there's also things where like I really just want to edit like a song right at a certain point here.
25 to 1.
And I will always
Oh, no. I got a better one for you. It's about the time that I walk away. Oh, not the future, guys. Come on. Man, you guys suck. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
I remember in the winter we used to go out in the snow and like try and like hide inside of a sled and pretend to like replay this whole scene. We were weird kids.
So Alec Guinness.
But when
famously-
like it's super snowy out, there's not a ton to do. So you just kind of like make up stupid games like pretend this sled is a tauntaun and hide underneath it for a while.
And the thing I absolutely love about this scene is, you know, especially when you consider knowing that Alec Guinness did all of his scenes for this movie in 1 day.
If Kristen wasn't talking about our tauntaun sled, I was about to say that.
Hey, you know what? Tauntaun sleds are important to me. Okay, settle down.
Never.
Tauntaun sled at my house, so we had to imagine one.
Well, I'm not saying my sled was literally a tauntaun. I'm saying
No, I'm
like,
saying I didn't.
I had a
when
sled
I was a kid.
and I would put it on top of me and pretend I was inside of a tauntaun so I could survive the bitter cold.
The
Here I
first
am trying to tell
the-
stories about my childhood.
The first time a non-force user has ever used a lightsaber.
Yep.
Unless, technically at this time, it was canon. Splinter of the Mind's Eye, we did not know Leia was a Force user, and she used the lightsaber to fight Darth Vader. But Splinter of the Mind's Eye is a whole different story.
And it's no longer canon, so.
And
Sadly.
let's be honest with ourselves, it wasn't that great.
I like it.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's not great.
I can't tell you how many times when I'm shoveling out my driveway here in New York in the winter that when I'm getting really tired, I stop and I like pull down my hood and just go, I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Every time.
Oh wait, but hold on though. But do you just do exasperated extra breathing? Like, I thought it smelled bad.
Oh, yeah, I do. That's when I'm shoveling snow. All I do is just quote stuff from A New Hope, from Hoth. Just because I'm a loser.
Oh, so what's the name of this pilot? Anybody who played Rogue Squadron know this?
I can't remember.
This is Rogue 2, Zev Sineska, one of the
I knew it was
original
Rogue 2,
pilots
but-
of one of the first 12 pilots of Rogue Squadron who managed to survive the events of the first game, but didn't quite make it
Now,
past this movie.
I have a question here. What is it that Han did to get himself promoted to a captain, whereas Luke is only a commander?
By my understanding, commander is a higher rank than captain. Only one rank higher,
Is it?
but still.
I thought it was reversed.
No. That's Star Trek. That's in Star Trek. It's like
See, that's
Star Wars.
All this sci-fi just melds into your brain at a certain point.
And then, of course, if you get in a battle on 5, then it's really crazy.
Are you trying to drown that kid? Why don't you just throw some leeches in there? Oh my god, I'm so mad I wasn't here yesterday to do that. She's lost the will to live with your degree in poetry. So there was a deleted scene right before this where Luke and Leia are alone in this room and they almost kiss.
Yeah,
Presenting the idea that it wasn't until Jedi that Lucas definitively knew they were related.
Yeah, we'll
looks like
we'll
you
get into that
managed to
problem
figure
I
that
have with
out.
Jedi later. And Jonathan Beckett's Carlos Spicy Wiener, not Carl Spicy Wiener.
Chewie and the
a big
droids and
difference.
Luke. This is so awkward for all of them. Just
Yep.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Ah,
I quote that line to my dogs all the time.
The original love triangle.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's
True feelings for me.
what I feel so
Well, you
bad. Like, I love that what they ended up doing with Luke and Leia, but retroactively, you go back to Empire and New Hope and you lose that. It's kind of a charming and interesting love triangle they had going. And I use this photo every National Siblings Day.
Happy Siblings Day.
Every year I post that. I'm like, Happy Siblings Day.
I love Mark Hamill's reaction there. That's
Well,
just like...
That's Luke and Han's relationship summed up as like, yeah, I got the kisser. Again. Suck it.
Princess, we have a visitor. General Carlist Rakin.
Welcome to Chris Names Obscure Characters.
General Reich.
He served with the Republic 322nd, if I recall correctly, in the Clone Wars. God, I know too much shit.
Yes, you
So
do.
a funny thing is, he just said he's fluent in over 6 million forms of communication. By the time we get to Force Awakens, 3PO is fluent in over 7 million forms of communications.
Woo.
God, I love the designs of the probe droids.
I mean, this movie, just when you look at it,
the best part is,
ILM,
like,
the pop
they brought-
department, Stuart
sorry,
Freeborn, all of them, it was just expanded from Star Wars. It just got better. And you see, just Han's look here of like, that doesn't
Fuck.
seem right. By start the evacuation, we mean no one will leave the planet yet
One of the
until it's
most- one of the most
dramatically,
iconic pieces of music of all time.
which John Williams talks about this. He said, he ran into the problem, which was a lot of, the themes, they were able to just sort of carry over and expand for this movie, but there was no theme for the Empire. You just had the Death Star theme, and so he had to figure out a militaristic theme that sounded threatening that you immediately knew was the Empire's, which he succeeded with.
Correct.
Also, Darth Vader's helmet got slimmer in this film.
Now,
Oh my
and
God, it's Hitler.
Oh, dear God.
It is. Proof not needs. And this shot right here explains everything about Vader. Everyone stops and just freaks out when he's around. Which is so funny.
Empire stuff. Looking very Empire stuff.
Well, it's so funny because you compare that to the last movie where, like, you have Imperials making fun of Vader. That
But that's what I love.
Religion. Like,
But yeah, that's what the that's what the opening crawl does very well in establishing Vader has now full on taken control and he is someone to be feared. But two, the actor is now in a lot more.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. The actor is a lot. Who David Prowse now is in a lot more sync with James L. Jones's voice, and it doesn't look as weird and subconsciously doesn't feel as weird.
Well, it also does come down to this problem of George likes to pretend that he knew all these 9 movies in the story when in reality he didn't. And so he just went, everyone really liked Darth Vader, so I'm going to make a much more of an important, threatening character in this movie.
Well, when he was first starting to write the story, wasn't Luke supposed to be a girl?
Well,
no. Okay. The official first draft was The Adventures of Luke Starkiller, as told in the Journal of the Wills, Chapter 1, The Star Wars. Now, Luke was always meant to be a guy first, but then it's got changed to a girl. But then when he changed it back again, he made both Luke and Leia the twins.
And then he took away the twins thing because he was like, maybe it might be better for them to be in a relationship. I don't know.
And then he was like, no, they should be twins, even though I made this movie and now it's super, super creepy for them to be twins. But that's okay. It's all okay. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Yeah, you gotta, you know. And now, maybe a difficult question to ask, but pretend you're in 1980. Are you Team Luke or Team Han for Leia to wind up with?
That's
wow.
You gotta try. You only have Star Wars and Empire.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you.
That's that joke comes from back in 2003 on April Fool's Day. Stars.com changed their whole layout to green and black, and they made it that it was 1980, and they had that poll because all you had was Star Wars. Have you guys ever seen the video?
I'd hate to be this guy.
Yeah, poor Ozzel. He tried.
That's on his gravestone. R.I.P. He tried.
Welcome to orientation.
Lord Vader really knew that didn't work. He would kill us with his lightsaber. So, do promotions in the Empire just work if you're standing by the guy who's higher ranked than you and dies? Because Vader kind of just like, imagine if Piet wasn't standing next to Ozzel.
Okay, now real quick, sorry, one more excuse character. That's Derek Hobby, the guy who just said 2 fires against a Star Destroyer. That's Hobby.
Hobby. I just have a question. Can we hear this with someone a little bit more military experience or a man?
Poor Kristen.
We are flying into space where we could literally go into any other direction. However, we are going directly towards the starfighters.
Hey, it's okay. We'll be fine unless they have giant walking camels. Hey, Frank, look, they got walking camels. All right.
Relationships going to set.
Good. First catch of the day. You can tell he's the water cooler guy. He's the one that's got all the funny one-liners around the water cooler.
First catch of the day.
Oh.
Giant nipple gun.
All right, we need to. If we're not allowed to quote the movie, we can't quote the spoofs as well.
Right, because I've only seen the spoofs like once.
Okay.
I can quote them. I
This
can
is
quote
Mark
the
Hamill.
movie. I cannot quote the spoofs.
This is Mark Hamill doing that voice. And funny enough, it was if you watch the trailer, it's Harrison Ford doing the voice of the trailer.
Oh, Dak.
Don't hold that, Jacob. Now, these guys were all
They were
like ski patrol.
Yes.
They were all like the mountain rescue people.
Can I also just say what I find funny about and what I really love about that shot is you can see when Luke runs up and he sees that the only spot that's free is the gunner position, not the pilot, and you can tell he was actually annoyed by that, isn't it? Like you can that's when he gets up, he can only it's the gunner position, isn't it? Or am I that's how I've always said it. Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it again.
Or we could just assume that you don't know what you're talking about and that you're crazy.
I think that's it. That's it. Okay. There we go.
I'm going to make a bold statement here, and people are going to hate me. I love the Trench Love, but this is my favorite. If you can count this starfighter battle in Star Wars, is the Battle of Hoth. It is my favorite. I think just the camera work, the intensity, just everything is perfect in this scene.
So we were I went to there's an Eat Street market near where I live, and they had this on the big screen on Saturday night. No, it was amazing. So I was just like, oh my God, we were just watching this scene on the big screen for about 10 minutes. That was awesome.
Walter Donovan. General Veers.
/ Julian Glover / what's his face from Game of Thrones.
He's a lot of stuff.
And he's in City of Death, the Doctor Who episode. Classic 4th Doctor episode.
I really need to buy a prop replica of Luke's helmet here. It's so great. Dak.
Poor Dak.
Aww.
Again, he actually had a pretty decent backstory in the books.
Yeah, he did.
The guy
Now,
gives like really good like fierce eyes.
Just the
He's like this, and then he
domination
just
of the Empire in the scene is perfect. You may start your landing. And if you play Force Unleashed, the Ultimate Sith Edition, you get a cool, different view of the Battle of Hoth.
That's one way of putting it.
Also, Wedge Antilles, one of the only Star Wars characters to participate in all the major starship battles of the original trilogy.
Yep.
But they don't give medals for people who bitch out.
Mhm.
Nah, I'm kidding. I love you, Wedge.
Everyone loves Wedge.
You guys talked about this yesterday, so I don't need to say who's he related to. Of course.
But yeah, this fight.
Actually, no, we
here is the
didn't.
whole-
We didn't talk about that.
Oh, Dennis Lawson, who plays Wedge Antilles, is the uncle of Ewan McGregor,
Yep.
who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Ewan has said the only reason why he saw the original Star Wars was him and his brother just wanted to see their uncle on the big screen. Just funny little things.
Launch patrol.
I just there's all of his terrible stuff, and Han and Chewie are just having engine troubles. I'm ridiculous. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you. It's also like the Battle of Hoth is the only reason the Shadow of Empire game is remembered with any fondness.
Right,
I
come
will
on,
very
fighting
highly
words
contest that.
here.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
remembered because it had a great lead character.
Yeah.
Uh...
Also, I'll counter that with the
No,
battle with IG-88.
And I'll meet you in the middle, Jacob. The game itself is fine.
No, yeah, sorry. Okay, again, you can only talk about the piece of material that I am talking about, which is just the game. You can't include the book.
You can talk about, you know why it's the most rare part? Because most people, it's too hard and they haven't gone to the second level.
Yeah, I got up to I remember I never finished it. I got up to the sewer level, like towards the end. And
That's just because that's a maze and everything.
Yeah, and this was back when I was a kid. And
just Luke Crashlands, just this entire Battle of Hoth is just. And it's not even a really, when you think about it, it's not even a real long starship battle, but it's still my favorite. Just, I don't know what it is. Just I think it's because I've always liked the snow speeders. They've always been my favorite of the. Well, I mean, Millennium Falcon, but they've always been my favorite of the starships. It's cool design. Woo! I just realized something. I know I wasn't on yesterday, but this is the first of these movies where everyone just kind of agrees on this film.
yeah.
Yeah, we got rid of John, so.
Thank God you did. Imagine if he was here.
He'd crap on this movie.
So
and he likes this movie. He just thinks that people overhype it so
there's
much.
a great comic book in the graphic novel Visionaries, which is about the group of troopers, which actually, the one that you hear doing that, he's actually shot in the back by a snow trooper. That's why it kind of breaks out. And actually, the leader of that group was Mon Mothma's son. Just interesting little tidbits. That is the... And then you get this awesome scene, which is just Luke Luke just knows how to use the lightsaber to his advantage.
Yeah. Well,
He
and
just
I
doesn't know
like
how
it
to play
because you see his character growth. Like
Yeah.
in the last movie, he would not have done this.
No.
And you just see that he's becoming more of like an intelligent fighter.
Well, to be
Okay. Can I just also just say that's like a 3-story drop.
It is.
Like,
but he's a
I
Jedi,
mean,
so it's fine.
Force, Jacob, okay? Do you know how the Force works?
That
I
is how the
don't.
Force
I make up
works.
rules all the time.
Jacob, it's funny you bring that up because on Mythbusters they talked about that fall should have killed him, even if he fell in like.
Okay,
10
the
feet.
Battle of the Death Star should have also killed Luke. A lot of things should kill
Hey,
Luke.
like I said, he used the Force. Okay, that's like your explanation for everything in these in these movies.
Interesting thing: deleted scenes show right after that a snowsphere that gets shot down goes straight into the front and kills General Veers, which is why it doesn't appear in the rest of the film or in any of these, beyond that. My brother always would like to make fun of the fact that he thinks Han farts because of the way he sort of backs away the smoke right here. And it annoyed me to no end as a kid.
I think he was just like brushing snow.
Yeah, he is, but
I mean,
this is one of my favorite shots of Vader. Just
I still like
intimidating.
the shot from him from New Hope, him just standing in that hallway with his lightsaber drawn.
Oh.
Like that's my favorite Darth Vader shot.
Oh, this is not my favorite. I'm saying it's one of mine. My favorite Darth Vader shot is coming up in this movie.
How typical.
Move it, Goldenrod. You're going to be a permanent resident.
So, which does beg the question: when Anakin made C-3PO, does he have a golden rod?
Okay, can we drop Chris out of the call? Is that a possibility?
Yes.
I'm just joking. You should be ashamed of yourself, Chris.
Hey, the questions I will ask for the sake of charity, because lest we forget, we're here for a great cause. Wait,
Okay,
why am I doing the charity shout out?
We really
We
should
already
have.
did it. You missed it.
We really should.
Pardon me.
Well, how dare you be late?
God,
Can
how
Han
dare
and
you
Leia
be
this
late?
chat just get over it? Stop bickering. We really should have started a Harrison Ford point count.
That'd be a good idea. Next time for charity.
See?
As long as Krista can find out who she is this time.
Hey, you know what? I liked the idea that I change my name and then I get the money.
And you can tell how angry Vader is that he's like this close to have gotten them.
Again.
All right, bye guys. I'll catch up with you, I guess.
We need a timestamp.
Yep.
We
So
are
36 minutes.
And
in 5
seconds.
Yeah, so we'll give you the 37-minute time count when we get there, mate.
In a little less than a minute. Why is my shirt all weird now?
That is a question of the ages.
Oh yeah. Oh, Chris, do you like? I wore my Best Man fatigue shirt
Yeah.
for this watch along.
I wore a Princess Leia shirt for this watch along.
I wore a black shirt that I owned.
Oh my God, Jacob.
Wow, Jacob, way to dress up.
Way to ruin the aesthetic.
I mean, granted, you guys know I was gonna wear a suit no matter what, but I literally just got here from work, so sorry that I'm late.
I wore this to work. I don't
So,
know why you're complaining.
I'm just going to present this now. There's a question of people of how long do the events of Empire actually take place? Because we know the hyperdrive is not working.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 37 minutes. Sorry, continue, Kearns.
But yeah, just because we know the hyperdrive isn't working, we see multiple points, which means how long does it really take them to get to Bespin? That's just, and takes Luke to get to Dagobah, because Luke might have spent a lot longer time training than people give him credit for. I love this scene. And one of my favorite Han Solo lines is coming up.
Outside of every single one of them in this movie?
Every single one of them, correct. I always thought those Star Destroyers always reminded me of like, what are those, bugles? Like the chips. Like I don't know. I was weird as a kid. Everything was food related.
We're in trouble. And this is what I love that Lawrence Kasdan was able to do, is just add these little moments of humor to the movie in intense situations. Like, this is intense, but he's going to throw in this joke right here because you just need some levity. I don't know how we're going to get out of this one.
What's great about it is it's not jokey, which...
No,
Yeah.
You know, which I will admit, there are moments in the prequels where some of the humor comes off as jokey, and it doesn't work. Here, it's organic, and it's just from the way that's performed, they're like, okay, this is legitimately funny.
So this right here, when Han does that, when I was a kid, I always thought that there was like a switch that was like Leia piloting, Han piloting, because he had to do that before he sat down. So I always assumed that's what it was.
Oh. Interesting.
The humor thing, I think, works a lot because they built Han's character to be that, and they never built any of the characters in the prequels to be that kind of like, I'll tell this joke and it fits completely within my character.
I'm not even gonna say just to Han, just because you get 3PO, you get Leia, you get Lando, Luke, you get levity throughout this film. That it's not just character, which I think, to not do too much prequel bashing as a fan, is the problem that George tried to put all his eggs in one basket with Jar Jar. But that's enough prequel bashing. Let's just talk about Empire.
Oh yeah, and I definitely wasn't saying that all the humor comes from Han. I think that just a lot of like the quippy one-liners are his, but like if someone in the prequels had done it and they hadn't set up that character to be like that, then it just would have felt really unnatural. But because that's how they set up Han's character, like it's completely natural for him to be in a tense situation and then just like let off a joke or a one-liner. Like it works with who he is.
So just talking about Han's characters, so I brought it up before, but Splinter in the Mind's Eye. So just because we're talking about Empire, and this is most people's favorite Star Wars film, do you think if Splinter in the Mind's Eye was the sequel to Star Wars, would Star Wars be the franchise it is today?
No. I'm sorry to say it so suddenly, but here's the difference. Because what they would have done with Splinter in the Mind's Eye is,
because I agree with you.
From a technical perspective, it wouldn't have matched up. It would have been probably lesser than Star Wars. From a story perspective, it would have been lesser than Star Wars. And from a character perspective, because you didn't have Han and Chewie there,
well, Luke,
it would have also been lesser than Star Wars.
The one thing I like about Splinter in the Mind's Eye, and why I still like the book, is they give a lot of attributes of Han to Luke, which, you know, I enjoy.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough. But I just, and again, this is just me, but
well, I just bring it up just because it's funny that we end up on a swamp planet
the complexities that this movie does.
Well, not to get too far into Splinter in the Mind's Eye, but that's actually, it was meant to be that way because Lucas wanted a sequel that wouldn't cost as much, which is why it takes place on one location and is a swamp planet so they could cover up sets, which this is an amazing work of just majesty when it comes to set design.
But my God, would you have not wanted to fall into that pool?
Oh yeah, Norman Reynolds says that. He's like, but after a day of shooting, you did not want to fall in that water because God knows what was in there. And they're like built high up for Yoda so that Frank Oz could be operating Yoda. And poor Mark Hamill spent just so long alone having to act with a droid and a puppet. And this is Harrison Ford is my favorite actor of all time. But Mark Hamill doesn't get the credit for this movie specifically. That, like, if Mark Hamill's acting with R2 and Yoda are not as good as it is in this movie, you would not believe Yoda as a character.
Yeah,
If Mark Hamill treated it like a puppet,
so much like when he puts a ton on himself, just making the movies believable because he interacts with everything around him like it's completely natural, which is amazing.
Which is why I love Luke Skywalker is my favorite character, and it really comes into how Mark Hamill, not just how the character is running his progression, but also just how Mark Hamill treats the character.
Yeah.
And I've always loved this moment right here. Just the desperation in Luke. He thinks he lost his best friend.
We have our first Jonathan Peck fun fact of the movie, which, Jonathan Peck, I think you're slacking a little bit. We're kind of far in the movie for the first fun fact.
Also, we've been given so many fun facts already.
Jim Henson turned down the part of Yoda. That's his first fun fact.
Which Lucas was fine with because he specifically said, I don't want Yoda in my movie.
Yeah.
Also, the first of the special edition changes coming up. Well, first line changes.
I was gonna say, back to the Mark Hamill conversation, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mark Hamill's nerd cred, I guess, or belovedness amongst the nerd community, the geek community right now, is a lot higher than Harrison Ford at this point.
Well, that's because Hamill. And that's the difference. You bring it up is Hamill kept on doing more geek-centric stuff, whereas Harrison Ford did a lot more general audience stuff, which is why Harrison Ford is the more celebrated.
And he's completely embraced the whole culture of fans and conventions and everything that fans do, like cosplay and the art and everything. Like he is completely invested in all of it and collectibles and all that. Like that's why he's become kind of like the icon for geek culture.
I'm not sure if you guys brought this up yesterday, but that's because that was Mark Hamill before Star Wars. He talks about growing up as a military brat. He was a comic book nerd, and he was the only member of the cast who was like, "Aren't you guys excited making this sci-fi movie?" Whereas everyone else was like, "This is gonna fail. This is a paycheck." Like, that's why I love Mark Hamill, and that's why I wish I could meet him one day.
Hint number 1: we're not on an asteroid.
Yep.
Oops, spoiler alert.
I was going to say something just then.
Shoot, we take the professor in the back and hook him up the hyperdrive.
All right, another random fun fact for the Star Wars Family Guy specials, just because I just feel like adding that. The only reason Mark Hamill was going to be involved, he was going to be involved, but he didn't like the joke that
Hamill didn't have a career.
That Peter makes saying that Harrison Ford's the only one the only person whose career is going to actually take off after this movie, or not going to isn't completely ruined by this movie or something.
Which is totally fair. It is a pretty insult for a guy who, maybe didn't do much acting, but voice acting after this.
Well, but I mean, I bet he makes bank. Have you seen his resume of voice acting? Like, it is like pages and pages long. And Carrie did a ton after this movie, but she did a lot of writing, and that's what she was passionate about. So to say that,
also she did a lot of,
and I know it's a joke, and I know that they make that joke,
but
fully aware of everyone's career after these movies. But like, if that's your passion and you make a good living on it, like she did really well after this.
And Hamill, again, going to the geek cred stuff, he loves voice acting. That's why he continued to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not a completely off-base joke, but it is. I can understand why Mark Hamill would be,
because
be insulted by it.
Every joke should have a hint of the truth in there, and to me, like
that doesn't have
isn't quite the truth. Like it's a little too far off the actual truth.
And it's so funny to say that about like we're being watched. I'm gonna reveal something here. So when I was a kid, I used to watch these movies, and I would pretend to be the characters. So I would have, actually, I have it right. Where is it?
Right.
All right, Yoda,
Actually,
come on,
I
start singing Seagulls.
My childhood blaster.
Oh my god!
And
I love that.
I would do all the actions. So I would do the and I would spin on my couch, and I would, yeah. Especially with this movie because I watched it so many times.
Oh, Matt.
Little baby.
Every time I watch this scene now, all I can think about is the bad lip reading song. Every time.
And again, sorry, I'm going to bring this up again just because this right here, this scene here, it illustrates why Yoda doesn't use a lightsaber. Sorry, this scene right here, when he mocks him for saying "great warrior," he's not like. There's the build up for who it is. You ruin this moment of who Yoda is.
All right,
But
Jacob. I thought we were gonna get along today, but apparently we're not. No, because that you can have your philosophy and still be able to adapt and have the need for what you actually are going to be able to do to survive in a situation that requires self-defense. And I'm sorry, but yes, you can have a lightsaber and still have the philosophy of, oh, I don't need to have this. But if I have the knowledge of how to use it, it's helpful.
So, being the Star Wars geek that I am and more of a lightsaber person I am, the prop of Luke's lightsaber changed from A New Hope to Empire, and you can clearly tell when you look at it that there's a lot more gizmos. The pushed-in button, there's a button there actually that's out, so you can easily tell an Empire lightsaber from A New Hope, which is. I just need to say something to move us away from that.
I'll drop it, but I love. Sorry, Yoda is one of my favorite characters.
Yoda's great, and the thing I love about
He's
Yoda
my number
is
7 favorite character.
He's doing this to test Luke because he knows Luke is coming there to look for a great warrior, and of course Luke is going to think of a great warrior like what he's heard about his dad. Obi-Wan Kenobi, like those are the people he's looking for, not a tiny pint-sized little, Muppet.
An adorable pint-sized little Muppet.
Very.
Oh, I love
I
this
am
moment.
scared of the day, and I doubt they will ever do it, but I'm scared of the day that they decide that they do CGI him in instead of having a puppet.
No.
I know.
Jacob, way to give him the ideas.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I don't think they ever will. But I'm scared of the day they might do
everybody,
it.
timestamp this day that if they ever do that, you come back to this watch along and you blame Jacob London for it.
I already blame Jacob for everything anyway, so it's not much different.
Everyone blames me.
It's true. It's because you're so grumpy,
Now,
we can't help it.
You guys bash the love scenes in Attack of Clones, so let's watch
A good one.
Let's watch a good one and see how we like it.
Also, interesting thing to note. So Carrie Fisher is very, very tiny. She had to stand on an apple box crate in these scenes with Harrison Ford, so they could be in frame together.
It's pretty normal.
Because she's that much shorter than Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Tom Cruise has to do it for nearly every single one of his movies.
All right, come on. Now you're just trying to hurt me.
He's a short guy. I'm a nice man.
All right, kids. So, if you want to get a girl, all you gotta do is be a complete jerk around her and harass her, call her names, and you'll fall in love.
Yes!
And also look like Harrison Ford. You left out the most important part.
That's true. Also, C-3PO was the ultimate cock block.
Correct.
Also, I love that moment that you see the asteroid hit the Star Destroyer, and then the guy's transmission stops because he's dead.
What's Vader doing with his hand?
Posing.
No, like he was like twitching.
He's holding his belt. He's holding his belt.
So
It looks
Vader's
weird.
from Texas. Okay, now this is a change for the DVD release that I actually thoroughly like.
Can I be the one
thoroughly
guy who says, I get why they changed it. It makes no sense. I liked the design of the Emperor in the original.
I don't.
That's fair. I don't like the added dialogue, though.
It makes sense with everything considered.
This is actually like my favorite change they made.
Okay.
Changing
Empire,
the Emperor.
Empire had all good changes. Empire really didn't have any bad change.
Yeah, I am completely okay with this change. I'm not okay with the dialogue change. That's all. Like have him do it. Just don't change the dialogue. Like keep the dialogue.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Now, I agree with that, Jacob, only because in the comics, Vader realizes he has a son. So, unfortunately, with that one dialogue change, it retcons Vader's discovery in the comics.
That's fine. It just, to me, just that moment, it just makes Vader look like, shouldn't he have known this already?
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like just keep. Yeah,
But Marvel retconned it, so it still was a great scene, and it was actually shot when they did Revenge of the Sith. They pulled Ian McDermott to a green screen, said, "Save these lines."
Oh,
Malcolm in the chat asks, which character do you guys identify with in the Star Wars saga?
Luke Skywalker, hands down. Just to explain, I'm headstrong. How many times when I'm on Skype calls with you, do I just get super pissed like this in this scene when I can't get a point across or something? Like, I'm Empire Luke specifically. Like, I want to do so much, but sometimes I think faster than I can act, and it pisses me off. So, yeah, Luke.
Oh, the stories I could tell.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fine with admitting that.
Well, the first step to overcome a problem is admitting that there is one to begin with. And it's not a huge problem, Kearns. You know, we love you. So
Yeah, I know. Again, that's why I love Empire so much. Is
and
But what are your guys' answers?
Luke.
Waste our time.
Kristen?
Leia. And that's not just because she's a girl. It's just when you grow up watching these movies so many times and you see that there's a really strong female presence, like you start to want to be that person. So, I mean, from a very young age, like I think I was watching Star Wars when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Like that's who I wanted to be when I grew up, was Princess Leia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want, actually, here's the funny thing. The way I present myself is kind of a Han Solo type, where I'm the likable jackass, but even I have to admit, I'm Anakin.
Huh.
I'm
one step away from falling to the dark side. I see it.
Well, again, if you follow us in private, sadly, I've had my moments. I've even had my on-camera moments, and shit happens. But to be fair, it never comes from a place of malice. It's always just
where he was,
what he was doing,
what he was doing.
See, girls, stop it now.
Excitement. Jedi curse, not these things. You are reckless. If you remember. Like, this is what I love is Obi-Wan or Ben, whichever you would like to call him in this movie, he's pushing and Yoda is just immediately like, nah, he's reckless. Wasn't I? Okay, but he's too old. You weren't too old. And again, the thing I love about this movie too is the mythology of the Jedi and the Force is just expanded. This thing of like, oh, so there was a cutoff age for Jedi. you had to be a certain age to start training. You know, you had to.
It was about 6 years old.
And the thing I look to about this movie when it comes to, because I mean, of course, the lightsaber duel and everything, but my favorite part of this movie is Luke training with Yoda and the cave scene. The thing I love about it is when you look at the prequels and you see him training, you really figure out that Yoda and Obi-Wan with Luke really just had to think on the fly to take these thousands of years of training that they both got properly done and try to apply it to Luke on the spot. Like, Yoda has to be like, how do I teach him like I would teach any Padawan when I'm on Dagobah?
Right, now, this scene always made me jump when I was a kid.
Yep, that's the correct response.
Where?
3PO in this moment is just, I'll stay and got the ship. Oh, this is great. This is great. This scene is just so good.
It's so tense.
And it's because you know, the first time you see it, you don't really get what's happening. Like, you don't really get what's happening.
Malcolm, Chris will be on for Return of the Jedi, and there's a reason for that. And you think that he would be Yoda, but I'm pretty sure that his answer probably would have been Jabba.
I'm not sure, though, because like in my instance, my favorite character is who I identify with, but I'm not sure if Clark identifies with Jabba.
I don't know. All I know is that he really likes Jabba.
Just, everyone listens real quick. I'll bring up something interesting. There's two pronunciations of Han's name. It's Han or Han in these movies.
Han.
I'm not gonna lie. That is one of the few inconsistencies that just always bugs me.
But that's just
that and Leia or Leah.
Ugh.
And this just, Han's just like, wait, okay, all right.
Wait a second.
And this is what I love is Han is
Something's
immediately
not
right.
right.
He's like, nope, we're leaving.
Hold on a minute.
And the other thing I like about this moment with Leia is you have to remember she was a senator for a long time. So I love this, like, let's discuss the problem. Han's like, nope. I am not a committee.
Yes.
That was C-3PO's attempt at the Wilhelm scream. Sit down, sweetheart, we're taking off.
The cave's collapsing. This is no cave.
What?
Yes, that's right, people. When Jacob's away, we just quote the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, the normal movie, and not. Oh wait, we did quote the Family Guy.
Jacob more likes to quote the spoofs than the actual movie. I saw that in some.
It almost makes you think he's not a real Star Wars fan.
Oh, come on! Don't say that stuff. Oh, okay. Now this is. Just
I kind of think that sometimes.
This is where I'm just gonna watch. You guys can talk. I'm just gonna be watching. I think it's sequence.
Now run,
You can run a backpack while you run.
Swing from a hairy vine. I can be a backpack while you climb.
I hate both of you.
It's so simplified, but it's so awesome. Vader. Is the dark side stronger? And welcome to the stream, Aaliyah from Nerd Build and All the Belts podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, it's for a great cause, and we're watching great movies. Is there any reason to say no?
No, there really isn't. Except that I may have had too much to drink last night. So that might have been a reason. But I'm still here.
Kristen, do you and Aaliyah want to get on a separate call?
Share stories.
She takes my place as hungover person on the stream.
All right.
You're welcome.
Now we
Thank
are
you
coming
so
up
much.
to what is my favorite, not just scene in Star Wars, but movie scene in general, which is the cave scene.
So yeah, we're about to hit an hour and 3 minutes in about 15 seconds. So
and
if
I
you need a
will
timestamp.
explain after the scene why it is my favorite.
You could explain during the scene if you'd like.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, an hour and 3 minutes, Celia.
Okay, I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm catching up.
Yeah, we can give you another timestamp in another minute.
I'll just go a little past 3 minutes and then.
Sounds good.
Okay.
You will not.
Okay.
Hello, I'm back. Hello.
Gross.
Hello.
Jacob's back. Everyone leave the call.
Oh, the worst.
Okay, so does anyone like? I remember as a kid, when I was a kid, this was the movie that I didn't like, and because it was the boring one when I was a kid. Now it's like the most amazing one. But this scene in particular was like a fundamental reason where I just didn't like it because I was so bored and confused.
Oh no. Okay. Now, like the scenes of him like actually training. Yeah, I can agree with you there. However, this particular scene, it had me hooked, and I couldn't explain why, but it just always had me hooked.
I was never bored by a Star Wars movie, ever.
I don't remember ever being bored with this movie, ever in my life.
Yeah, I'm just like, I know a lot of people have those stories, but like, I was always intrigued by these movies.
Okay.
Jedi was definitely my favorite, but I wouldn't say that this one was boring.
How old were you guys when you saw this one for the first time? That you
3
can
years
remember?
old.
3.
Sometime around there, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
when I was really little. I don't really remember exactly how old I was.
Yeah. Because I was about 5, I think.
Actually, kind of think of it, is this the only use of slow motion in Star Wars?
I think so.
At least in the original trilogy.
It's also not like regular slow motion.
It's dreamlike.
Yeah, it's kind of like
which is the purpose.
Motion.
Because it is. Which, okay.
That's now our 3rd decapitation in this franchise.
Also, interesting point. Originally supposed to be a prop head, but that is Mark Hamill's actual face. He had
They
to
cut off
stay
his head and put
really
it there.
He just had to stay really still with smoking.
I was going to say, Jacob, how's that little song go?
So now I can explain why that is my favorite movie scene of all time. When you look at it in context of what the cave represents, and coming from what Yoda says, it's your weapons. You're not, it's only what you take with you. That's what you take with you, like inside. And the cave presents your fears. Luke's fear is not Darth Vader, because the reason why he sees his face in Vader's mask is he fears becoming Vader, because he knows he's angry. He knows that, the dark side is quicker. Like, he may try to take that quicker road, and he is afraid of that because that dark side killed his father. And that is why it's my favorite scene, just the atmosphere and just everything it means for the character of Luke at that moment. And I'm sorry I spoke throughout the entire bounty hunter scene, but I had to explain why that's my favorite. Just, it's perfect to me.
How dare you speak through the entire bounty hunter scene?
I mean, come on, man. I wasn't even able to name off all the bounty hunters.
That was a Carrie Fisher. That Irv Kirshner didn't tell her to do that. That was just Carrie Fisher on her own. That face of, oh God, Han.
No, like,
it's not my fault. So you guys know, this came out a little bit after, sadly, Carrie's passing, but she rewrote a lot of dialogue exchanges between Han and Leia in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She rewrote a lot of it, and Lawrence Kasdan was totally fine with that. Then move into attack position. Shields up. The most posh of the officers. Track them. They may come around for another pass.
Oh, yes, Josh. Sorry, that is the 5th decapitation.
Wow, Chris. I can't believe that you misquoted the amount of decapitations in Star Wars.
Are you even a fan? Do you even decapitate?
Do the Star Wars, bro?
I'm more of a cattle decapitation kind of guy anyway. Yes, I just referenced a metal band. Live with it.
I won't. Also, just give Mark Hamill credit for, like, physically what he has to do in this movie. Like, doing a one-armed handstand is not easy, but having a Muppet, like an expensive Muppet on top of your foot that you have to balance is not easy either.
And then he's also got to lift a rock without even touching it. Like, Jesus.
Which, when you think about it, is funny is, you know, the grabbing the lightsaber of the Force and all this moving stuff, none of it was in the original. None of it. Like, we all know the Force now of, like, Force push and all that, but you didn't see, you saw mind tricks and you saw, like, Force chokes, and that was it. This is, again, Empire really just expands everything. Master, moving stones is one thing, but this is entirely different.
Okay. Say either I'm way behind or Kearns, you are way ahead.
But I'm at an hour, 9 and 30 seconds.
Oh, never mind. You were just quoting ahead. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I skipped Yoda's lines.
I was about to say, we didn't get sick of that line around here.
Nope. Not at all.
We've never used it before in our lives.
Yep.
I mean, look, Case, we love you, but sometimes, man, just too many times. That quote.
That and the get on it. Swear there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't get that in the chat at some point.
Now here's
Yoda's reaction there is this heartbreaking because you can actually see that that when it started to lift, he felt, oh wow, he might actually get it.
And you also see Luke's reaction of, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Just me by my size, do you?
As someone
good
who's
question.
short, I understand that completely.
Powerful allies.
And there's whiny Luke back once again for 2 seconds.
He just takes after his father sometimes, you know? Can't help it. It's in his genetics.
You can't help it.
You mean Hayden Christensen's acting choices were deliberate?
Whoa.
Yes!
Oh
my gosh.
I recognize that line from the Honest trailer.
All of Jacob's jokes are from somewhere else.
Yeah, duh. I'm not original.
He just
How
has
do
a
you
list
expect us
where
to
he's
think you're
reading
so
off
funny?
of.
This is my second favorite moment in Star Wars.
Because of the iguana?
Completely because that iguana performed to me.
Iguana's on point.
Well, I mean, the CGI on the seaweed just looks so convincing. can't say that with a straight face. Because that's actually a real effect. It's a model.
I love the music here. And every comment I make in any of these movies is basically just, I love the music here. It's pretty much accurate. Like, if you've ever talked to anyone who's ever actually had to play any of this music before, it's extremely technical. Like, a lot of, like, music scores just aren't super technical, but this is actually really difficult to play, a lot of this music.
I'm actually wearing my Star Wars in concert T-shirt right now from when we went to see it.
I loved going to see that.
Well, F all you guys for being able to see it.
Poor Jacob.
Also, Leah, as a costume person here, I'm Bespin Fatigue's Luke.
Nice.
I bought this shirt specifically, not for this, but just a while ago because it looked like it. Because I would pay $199 for the actual replica of it, but sadly I don't have the money right now.
Yeah, but also then you would have to have $199, so I know that feel. Yeah, this was the best I could do at short notice, was just a Star Wars t-shirt. So
trust me,
the
one
same,
day.
Actually, yeah.
One day. Because that is Best Man Fatigues is my favorite Star Wars costume. One day I will have the entire outfit. I will have the boot, the belt, everything. One day.
Just get it a piece at a time.
Exactly.
So I never actually got to see the Star Wars in concert, but the Detroit Symphony Orchestra plays Star Wars every once in a while, and so they did a summer concert at a park, and my brother-in-law actually got to sub in for part of it, which is why I know how technical it is. Like, he was saying, like, he got to play first trombone on one of the songs, and he was like, I am struggling with this. And he has like a master's degree in trombone performance. And he's like, this is actually really difficult stuff. So I think that's awesome. Just, yeah, that's, to me, like, when you put that much work into something, like, it's just so cool.
If only Obi-Wan Kenobi didn't try this on the Fets years ago, you might have gone away with it, Han. So yeah, this is a scene specifically that Carrie Fisher rewrote. The man, Wendell Calrissian. So Colt 45 drinker.
Absolutely.
That beer is awful.
Terrible, but he is a great spokesman.
I was gonna, you know what? That's when you get Billy D. Williams to be your spokesman, to sell you something you probably wouldn't want to drink.
That's like we in college we would have really bad wine parties where we would buy like hobo wine, and then we would also have some like Colt 45, and bad memories, but good memories, but bad memories.
So a buddy of mine is very good with Photoshop, and so he sent me a picture a while ago where it's because Han says they'll float away with the garbage, and he had all 3 of the prequel posters in with all the stuff coming out of the Star Destroyer, because he knows how much I like those movies. So Boba Fett, what do we think of him with his like few lines in this film, and yet the mystique of the character that was built from this movie?
Now, we do have to realize that most of that mystique was built through cultural osmosis, and it was just from cultural interest, because you get nothing from the character.
I mean, you get stuff. Like, he kind of back talks to Vader. Like, you get, but like, I love Boba Fett. I'm more of a Jango Fett person because he actually does cool stuff, but like, in both of these movies, he doesn't really do too much to be like the greatest Star Wars character.
Yeah, like I said, the reason that everybody loves him so much is because that armor is just so freaking awesome.
Which, yeah, it is.
Which, yes, it is. I saw a city in the clouds.
Evan is in the chat causing problems.
Oh, of
I
course
see you,
he is.
Evan.
Yeah, I might ban him in a sec.
No.
Yeah, no offense, Evan. Django over Boba every time because Django was able to kill Jedi.
And he was unchained.
Ah!
Heyo.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Kristen. If I ever get a chance to meet you in person, if it's sometime soon, I'm high fiving you for that so hard.
All right, man. I accept the high five.
Chris, poster in place.
Sorry, Kearns, you died for 2 seconds there.
Yeah, I'm sure what you had to say was
Good.
really funny. It's too bad that it all cut out of the
that's-
feed.
I said Abe or Clark make a poster of Django Unchained, but have it be Tamara Morris.
Damn
Oh,
right.
good idea.
Damn right.
Oh, wait.
So don't move in your present course, but we're gonna shoot you. So hold still.
They're just
Fun
warning
Fun
shots.
fact number 3. Again, man, you're really. I think that you need to give us some more fun facts. You're only at number 3. Okay, number 3. Boba Fett first appearance is
Holiday
in Star
special.
Wars: The Holiday Special in 1978.
Yes. In
Actually, no. His first appearance was actually in a parade in California with Darth Vader. Sucker.
Well
Make
done.
sure you push up your glasses at the end of that one, Matt.
Now, I do just want to mention the little debate that happened in the Take 3 chat regarding the holiday special and whether or not we would be watching it this time round.
Why do we want
It's just straight up hell no.
I said hell no.
Why do we want to do that to ourselves?
We watched
I don't
Clone
think I've
Wars.
ever seen it, actually. I'm pretty
Good for
sure
you.
I
I've seen it once. I have watched it once, and I will never do it again.
Twice. I've watched it twice. I saw it once when I was a kid, and I liked it because it was a new Star Wars thing. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, the cartoon is the most interesting thing.
The cartoon.
I had to swear off drinking
Oh,
after.
okay, I'm sorry. Wait. No,
I don't want to
that's
know
a
how
lie.
bad it would have been
The car-
after the holiday special.
The cartoon is probably the best part, but the most interesting thing is at the very end, watching how disinterested Harrison Ford is in being there. How am I doing?
that's just how he looks all the time. How would you even know?
That's not true. That is.
Wow.
I will fight you
That's
on
just what
that.
his face looks like.
Does this look like the face of a disinterested person?
Yes.
Me?
You mean on the movie? I didn't mean like in movies. I just mean.
Oh,
when
you meant
see
in
him
real
and
life?
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But you're talking about movies. That's like
No.
what?
Not when he's acting.
Oh man. Alright. You're sure. So, who else is annoyed that Billy D. Williams is still not in like Last Jedi or announced to be in Episode 9 yet?
I don't know. I don't know that you necessarily like have to have every character that's ever been in Star Wars in the new saga, but I would like for them to at least explain.
But
something
acknowledge
about
a
his
character. Because here's the thing: like, not having Wedge, I'm fine with, but having a character that is so important to Empire and Jedi, just not even. And I know we have not seen Last Jedi, but not even be mentioned as to what he's up to, kind of annoying. You know, because Lando saves them. Yes, he also puts them into a predicament, but he also gets them out of it in this film. And of course, again, one of the good changes in the special editions is the original set was very claustrophobic and closed off, so they were able to open it and show you more of Cloud City, which is nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy that change. The fact that they open the windows basically is like a little touch, but it adds so much to the world building.
And this is the thing about Empire and why I think it's the best of special editions is the stuff that they added only helped it. showing the Wampa Beast, showing more of Cloud City. Like, it just made it better.
Yeah.
We still never really definitively know who shot C-3PO.
Yeah. That should be the real who shot question of the
I was going to
trilogy.
say, is it JR? So, just an interesting question here. Where did Luke get changed in this planet?
Does he really need to get changed anywhere? It's like just him and Yoda, so pretty sure just.
Oh, Alec Guinness. This is a dangerous time for you. You will be tempted by the dark side.
Yes. Yes. Yoda.
He's like, good. Someone else. Much since then. See, and that, a lot of people try to say, oh, Luke only trained for like 2 days. A lot of people assume that it was probably longer. It's probably like at least a month he was training with Yoda. Because the hyperdrive was just not working on the Falcon. They had to go on, like, what was it? Sublight engines or I forget exactly what it is, which would have made the trip longer. So, it's just.
You okay there?
Yeah, just everything's fine.
We're all fine here.
Keeps falling out of the wall. Okay.
We're all fine. We're fine here, too.
We're all fine here.
How are you? It's Vader, you will do it alone.
I keep trying to lean on it, and then it falls out, and then my computer comes unplugged.
Why can he not interfere?
Because, okay, I will say, the reason why is the fact he is telling Luke, you are not allowed to go. You need to stay here and complete your training. If you choose to disobey what I'm telling you, I'm not going to help you. It's kind of like a parent. If you go out, if you leave when you're supposed to be home, I'm not going to save you if something happens.
Basically,
Also,
he's just trying to ground Luke. Like,
yeah, he's trying to ground Luke. He's trying to be like, go out with your friends. I'm not going to get you out of this mess. And here's the line that millions of Star Wars fans had to question for 3 years.
Gasp.
Who is this?
That line is actually like how we feel now, not knowing whose Rey's parents are.
Oh, yeah. Back in 1980,
sure.
You must have... Well, because the other thing is back in 1980, they thought this was going to end like Star Wars. Like, it was going to all be wrapped up. We're going to find out who's this other person. They didn't know it was going to be a cliffhanger, and you had to wait 3 years. And the funniest thing is, they didn't even know, like, they kind of thought it was going to be Leia, but then they were like, maybe? I don't know. This scene was also reshot and changed.
Well, some friend he is.
Calm down, woman, you're hysterical. That's basically what he was saying.
Pretty much. But he was being nice about it.
Telling people to relax never helps any situation.
Relax.
Just
You're
relax.
fine.
Calm down. They're like, I am calm.
There's one of the IG idiots that Boba Fett destroyed in the background there.
Let's play hot potato with C-3PO's head.
And the one
And a
Ugnaught
Wookiee.
can't catch. Oh! It was a bad pitch anyway. Found him in a junk pile. What was Chewie doing there? Let's go.
I don't know why, but that line has always made me laugh. Like, he walks in and he's like, oh, sorry, did I interrupt something going on in here?
Why's your door wide open?
No. Just, he's in pieces in a box.
It's family presents. We're gonna work on it. This is like bingo night. We're just gonna work on it. It's like, it's a fun puzzle. Which is advantageous for him. This coming up is my favorite Han Solo moment out of the entire saga.
We would be honored if you will join us. Like this, he's so cool. Darth Vader.
He just breaks in to be our guest.
Love it.
They're like, wait, what's happening right now?
So I know Robot Chicken did make this sketch, and it's a great sketch, but how awkward is this lunch?
Pretty
No,
awkward.
Like Vader can't eat. He's kind of just staring at them all.
No,
It's
the
kind of
Family Guy
like,
one's better.
Leia, how's
You go out with
the
all your
Alderaan?
coworkers. Everybody's just
I
does
like the
what to
Family
talk
Guy
about.
one where he's just like, "Oh, all right. So when they come in, I'll just stand up and hi." He just does not prepared at all.
Welcome to Jacob Quotes Family Guy. Heart
Because he doesn't
70
have-
million and a half.
Jacob, just get your own material. Stop stealing from your people.
But
Yeah,
Family
who are
Guy
you,
steals
Dane
from
Cook?
people all the time.
Whoa. Christian
Wow.
Hall would be offended by that.
Chris.
You're right. I should have said Carlos Mencia. I'm sorry. Now, this is actually one of those just very sweet, somber moments that
It's nice that they gave him 3PO, or else what would poor Chewie be doing? You're
Right.
all alone. He also intentionally puts his head backwards. Let's not forget that.
This will be hilarious. Let me just put this on backwards.
Ah!
No.
Stormtroopers. Here. Danger. I must warn the others. But I'll be shot.
now I don't know exactly what is actually torturing Han, but this scene is just brutal.
I've always, just the red and the shocks, I always assume that it's like
Hot?
something that's used to heat up, and so it's just like turned on high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just, it's kind of like, try putting your face really close to like the fireplace in winter,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Chris, just go place your face next to
Not
a fireplace.
actually,
I
but
just
just
like
Why don't we
seeing
all
them.
try it out right now?
But
While I'm at it, I'll go to a hillside. I'll cut my arm and legs off, and I'll just crawl up after I get burned alive. How about that?
Right. That way we'll know like what the correct
excuse
reaction
me,
should have
Chris-
been. If
Chris,
that's how you should have
time
said, I
out.
hate you.
you can't do that
Yeah,
because your
Jacob.
wounds will not be cauterized. You'll bleed out.
Cauterized, not carterized. What are you?
Carter.
Like Jimmy
What are
Carter.
you, the grammar police?
Carterized.
Carterize it. Yeah, we'll
You're
just go full
mean.
Chris
All
Carter
right,
on it.
You're like you're just mean, Kristen.
No,
Sneaky.
it's a completely different
Take
word.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
I can't take. I swear off drinking. Clone Wars destroyed me forever.
Yeah, you swore up drinking till the next
It was pretty bad.
walk.
Yeah. So Kristen, what would the next event that we do be
She's like, I don't know.
that would
I
get
don't-
you to drink? Oh no, the room.
Oh.
When we do
No,
when
no,
we do the
no.
room.
Because I would be hospitalized. So that's not even. Good.
If you do it,
I
good,
would
you
no
do that.
longer be living. I would be in the land of the dead.
Okay, now if it was a drinking game where everybody took a shot and it would just rotate in one particular pattern,
I would still be dead. We'd all be dead. The
To
channel
get
would
off
have
of
died.
Drinking. Can we all feel bad for Han in this moment that he is tortured just because Vader knows Luke is going to sense it. It's not to question him. It's simply just so Luke can sense it to get him to come. Also, this moment when Han punches Lando is fantastic. Vader wants us all.
He doesn't want to do it all. He's after somebody called that Skywalker.
Luke. And we're the bait. Just, you set this up real good, didn't you?
My friend.
Like,
I do like this, that you are seeing, like, they actually do give Lando a bit of a character where he's, you know.
Like, he feels bad, but he's like, if I didn't do this, I would be dead. Vader would have killed me if I didn't go along with this.
Well, it's not even just him. Like, Vader would have killed people that he was protecting. Like, he is like the ruler of a city.
Yeah, he would have probably just killed everyone who lives.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you know,
it's a classic case of, okay, I give over a friend of mine, and 2 people get to stay in my city where they're protected, or I let this, empire kill thousands of people that I have to protect on a daily basis.
Not only that, I'm giving over to Vader 2 people who are rebels, who are going against this empire, or I let thousands of civilians who have nothing to do with this war die. That makes sense. And you can right there, this wasn't part of the deal. Han was not going to be your guinea pig.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why Lando's change makes sense, because he's like, Vader screwed me on this deal.
Multiple times.
Like, Han was supposed to not be a guinea pig. He was supposed to go find the Jabba's. Chewie and Leia were supposed to stay here with me. Like, it was all going to be fine. I had that, again, my continual talk about toys. I had that toy where it was Chewie with the backpack with 3PO. And I loved it.
I love that this whole sequence, though, was born out of the idea that they weren't certain Harrison Ford would come back.
Yeah, they wanted to, like, put in a way of, like, if he does come back, we need to start writing a way for him to be able to come back. But if we want to keep him dead, we need to write a way to keep him dead. Also, I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, yeah, because Carrie and Mark had signed a 3-film contract, whereas in Harrison Ford had only signed a 2-film contract.
And also, the other thing is, Lawrence Kasdan felt, with this being the darkest of the film in the second part of a trilogy, he thought someone should have to die so that it makes the next movie, the audience is more on edge. It just, so it's a happy medium. Also, this is the only time that 3PO and Vader are in the same scene.
Other than when he,
best
builds
line of the whole franchise. Yes.
Last Family Guy quote, because I quote that all the time whenever, like, okay, wow, I come across as bad. We go pretty much that. I love you. Fuck off.
All right. Now to get back to the movie, that's Harrison Ford just being badass, and Irvin Kershner being a great director, just being like, okay, Harrison, I know it's not sounding comfortable, it's not sounding natural. On this take, just do whatever feels natural. And we got one of the greatest lines.
My favorite use of the Imperial March.
Oh, just with the smoke and Vader's. And the worst thing you have to think for all these characters is they don't know if Han's going to be alive coming out of this.
Now we have a nitpick where his hands are clearly like this when he goes in, but his hands are like this when he comes out.
I have a bigger nitpick here, which is he's wearing his A New Hope shirt, not his Empire one. You can see the V.
True.
No, that's yeah.
Hey,
Nerds.
Brian.
Just from watching this movie and looking at all this stuff I know about. I never got what Lando was doing here. I always felt like it was something important, but I couldn't quite tell what.
Well, he was checking his vitals to see if he was still alive.
And imperfect hibernation.
He's all yours, bounty hunter.
Good.
Oh, Leia's like, oh no.
Wookiee to my ship.
I pray I do not alter it further.
Oh.
What a dick.
Also,
Best
I
dick
love
ever.
that little. Did Vader kind of slightly force choke him of like, do not
Yeah.
screw with me, Calrissian, because you will die.
It's like a funeral procession.
Also, yeah, and the funny thing is, just to point out, is Luke using the blaster in this is they just didn't want to pay for lightsaber effects, so it was just easier to write in that Luke would still be using a blaster because he didn't feel comfortable with the lightsaber yet until he has to. Which again, I know costume. This costume is just.
Well, I say
amazing.
plus the film was already about $10 million over budget by this point, so
Yeah.
I love this little, which is different in the novel and the comic. There's actually 2 stormtroopers who fire, and Luke fires back and kills them. But they didn't include that in the film.
R2, shut up! You just got me shot at.
Lobot.
Lobot was listening to some tunes, and it was like, "Fuck, God, I have to work."
I always love it when people are like pressing buttons and it's like they're supposed to be doing something specific, but they're clearly just like beep boop boop boop.
Oh,
Beep.
what am I talking about? Right here, this is where in the novel and the comic, Luke fires back and kills these 2 stormtroopers, but they got rid of it. I don't know why.
It's a trap.
You just Admiral Akbar just comes up. Excuse me, that's my line.
It's not for another movie, but it's my line.
Not for another movie,
Retroactively, it's my line.
It's kind of like how Luke is the first to say, "I have a bad feeling about this," but people give it to Han.
Right.
Oh,
Who said it better, guys?
This coming up.
Leia.
Oh, Leia, 100%.
And now we come to the best Star Wars fight of all time. Not favorite, but best.
This is my
Best
favorite.
and favorite.
And also my favorite Darth Vader shot. Right there.
Oh.
That is a pretty good shot.
This coming up right here is my favorite shot in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, my favorite shot is Luke when he pulls out the lightsaber and it's just, and they just hold them there.
That is my favorite shot in Star Wars.
Right there.
Right here is mine, where it's just
right here.
It is a nice shot.
And I just love the thing about this fight that I love is Luke is fighting his hardest. This is the guy who killed Ben, who killed his father, who's going to kill his friends, and Vader is just toying with him.
Yeah.
He can end him at any second. And that's what I love about this fight is it's so one-sided, but Luke doesn't know that because he's so headstrong.
Yeah.
And,
Vader's also he's toying with him because he's trying to get him into a joke. He can't kill him.
He's trying to push it. Oh, but the thing I love is once Luke pushes Vader off, the fight changes when we come back to it. Because then it's just Vader is just hacking, slashing. Chewie was just waiting to do this.
Trust him.
Yeah, no choice.
Head.
Oh my god, I didn't know that William Bibiani played Lando Calrissian here.
Jeez Louise.
Oh,
Where's Clark when you need him?
I think somewhere
That man's
Chris
playing
Clark,
Gallagher.
his Bibiani sensors are tingling somewhere, and he's just
All
like,
the hair just stood
I'm
up on his
needed.
arm.
It's as if millions of Bibiani fans' voices cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. So I didn't ask because I'm pretty sure it's pointless, but Tamara Morris redubbing the lines now. Yay or nay? Makes sense for the movies, but I liked the old voice.
I honestly don't care either way. If the voice sounds cool, either or.
Oh yeah, Tamara Morris has a freaking badass voice. You gotta feel bad for Leia here, being this close to saving him.
how does R2 never get shot? Like in there, I mean.
He's the main character.
He
He
does
gets
get
shot in the
shot.
next
He gets
movie.
shot in the last movie. Darth Vader shoots him. We made a big deal about it.
And he gets shot in the
Jacob.
next
In the last movie, I mean, not this
Surprising.
a bit there.
Well, he's not really much of a threat. So if people are
Also-
shooting at you and there's a droid randomly not doing anything,
Jacob.
like, you're going to be aiming at the people that are trying to kill you.
The stormtroopers are terrible shots.
True. I love that the chamber just dropped then.
All too easy.
There's just so many moments like Luke using the Force to grab his lightsaber and just stopping Vader's blade like just a second later. Impressive.
Most impressive. Freya.
Yeah.
Puppy!
Sophia.
She's annoying. She doesn't get an aw puppy from me.
I do like that he never says Yoda. It's always Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan. He never mentions Yoda.
Well, because Yoda didn't wrong him. Obi-Wan did.
But like even Luke doesn't mention Yoda.
Oh, well.
No, don't say Yoda. It's Obi-Wan. He didn't even know that Yoda's in hiding or anything.
That's the thing is, yeah. Oh, this is a great just
the design of this.
Just everything in this.
Gorgeous.
Again, I just love how, the costumes in Star Wars a lot of time represent the characters, and in this, the more Luke goes on this fight and is metaphorically getting beat up, you see the costume get ripped and you see stuff being torn and he gets bloody. Like, it's all just represent, And of course, this moment was meant to be seen in Force Awakens during Rey's vision in a really quick shot, but it, wasn't. Sadly. I would have freaked out.
But also, like, there's blood.
Yeah.
Like, there's actual blood. That's not in, like, any of the other movies.
Excuse
me.
Outside of Force Awakens?
Walrus Man.
Yeah.
There is blood on the ground when his arm gets chopped off. But yes, to agree with your point, you really don't see the characters get bloody.
Yeah. I mean, I get why, because, the lightsaber cauterizes the wound.
But also,
but
other characters in Star Wars don't get, like, what I'm just equating as, like, metal boxes thrown directly at their faces. Whereas Luke did. That hurts.
Oh, Chris has just caught up.
Love you, Clark. We'll fight in a couple of hours.
Oh.
I want to chime in with this bloody thing, but my dog is still barking. But Darth Maul, the blood spray when Darth Maul gets cut in half. Come on, guys.
But I'm meaning like actual. You can see he's gone through the wars. Like he's actually like this fight has really taken it out of him.
Huge plot line.
Yeah.
That's not as a joke.
I love the line delivery there. It's just so funny. And then this music coming in kind of in the back, like swelling, and it's like very, it's so good.
I was just thinking that, and then I was like, why isn't Kristen saying anything about the music?
Well, I couldn't hear anything other than my dog barking for about 10 minutes. So.
Chewie has a hard enough time getting on the Falcon at the best of times.
Oh, yeah.
They have him hauling a droid, and then it's just awkward. Of course, I've looked better.
We're in this situation years ago. Don't you remember? Oh, wait. No, I can't. Never mind. And I love visually they represent that Luke is completely alone now. Just in that one shot that he's alone. Everyone's gone. It's just him and Vader.
Yeah.
And this is probably the scariest Darth Vader
Ton of
is.
stormtroopers.
But
yeah.
It's really just like
Ooh. Man, and now here he comes. He is pissed. He is fighting.
Oh,
he is
yeah.
swinging.
But here's the point. But at the same time, he's pissed off and he's fighting, but he can't kill him. Like he knows he cannot kill him.
He's more pissed that Luke is not giving in. He's not subjecting like he thought he would at this point. Oh, man.
Oh, got a shot in. Didn't mean much in the end.
Malcolm says, Freya, let Kristen watch the movie.
Hey, you know what? If you guys could be around for like every day of my life to tell her to shut the heck up when I'm watching movies.
I'll be right back, you guys. Sorry, 1 second.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, Malcolm, just tell my dog to shut up all the time. Thank you.
So
she's loud.
Everyone knows, of course, that the original line was Obi-Wan killed your father, because when they were first writing the script, they had no idea that they were going with Vader being his father.
Well,
which they kept.
Yeah.
They also kept because the script was like so secretive when that change came.
Yeah.
No one was supposed to know. Mark Hamill only found out like 5 minutes before they shot this scene.
Yeah.
And it was only because David Prowse was told to say, you don't know the truth, Obi-Wan killed your father. And Kirshner needed Hamill to be reacting to the actual line.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I mean, you would probably have gotten a similar reaction, but like, Vader's saying, I'm your father. Like, this great Jedi you've been hearing about and this great person who is your father is Vader. Yeah, it's going to piss you off. And this is probably the greatest Luke Skywalker moment coming up. Well, second greatest. We'll get to the greatest in the next movie.
Yeah, sorry, Vader. When you try doing that with your wife, that didn't exactly end well either.
Just the line.
Do it.
He's just like, fuck it. I'm done.
I'm done.
No, I just love the come with me. This is the only way. Luke looks down and go, no, it's not, and just drops. And he doesn't know that there's going to be a Weber vein. He just drops because I would rather die than join the Empire.
That's a great Luke moment. Like, And it's not, and that moment there isn't brought up enough in great Luke moments. Is no, he would rather die than join the Empire, and he proves it. And it's not like he doesn't say, "Oh, I'd rather die," I'd rather die. He actually proves it, and that's a great Luke moment. There goes his hand.
And there also goes his lightsaber that somehow Maz Kanata gets. Somehow.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That I don't ask for a lot of explanations, but that is something I do need explained.
Well, they had it. They did have the explanation in Force Awakens, and then they decided, no.
They deleted it. Well, we could talk about that, and you guys can catch our Force Awakens watch along
in a million hours.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours.
That story.
She's back.
Sorry about that. I had to. My delivery man was here. His name was Jacob.
Ooh. His name was Jacob?
Yes. I was like, oh, Jacob's dog now.
I didn't know you delivered pizzas.
Well,
yeah, why have you never brought me a pizza?
All the way from Australia, he came to deliver.
That was a really quick flight.
So the funny thing about this scene is that you can imagine if they were building up that there's a connection between Luke and Leia. And you could go either way. It could be romantic or sibling. They went with the sibling way.
We're all thankful, I think. I mean, if they had never been siblings, then that would have been fine, I guess. But I think that Han and Leia are a good.
To me, they are the better couple.
Well,
than Luke and Leia would have been if they weren't siblings.
Well, of course you guys think that, just like everyone and every girl I've ever talked to. It's always the bad boy who's better than the nice, kind guy who's just good to you. He's not a jerk.
Someone's salty.
Call you names. Right?
Yeah, but Han isn't just like the bad boy. Like, he's got hidden depths. Okay.
He's you know what? He's
Isn't that what all girls say about the bad boys that they like?
He's someone who Leia can fix, and that's all. That's all. They just want the bad boy because they think they can fix them.
All right, okay, let's not get into this, please.
Matt's like in some really.
I'm having a
psychological discussion right now.
Right now on this watch along. Where's Brienne?
We suddenly know a lot about Matt.
Yeah.
And his experience with the ladies.
Or lack thereof.
I was going to say, I don't think he's got experience.
Aww.
You know what would have been great? Because Leia goes, Lando, he goes, yeah, let's go. Could you imagine if he comes, it's like, where's Luke? I kind of missed him. He hit the falcon and just rolled it off, but we should probably go.
And here we have an alternate camera shot from Return of the Jedi used for this landing sequence.
Yep. You can even see the you can even see the same yeah.
Or Jerjerrod.
Lest we forget, Leia also kissed Luke there as well.
Yeah, I know.
So she was with Han already, and she's already cheating on him. Come on, Leia.
Well, I mean, is their relationship clearly defined?
No.
They're just
clearly defined bounds.
They can see other people.
Yeah.
It's an open. Yeah, it's an open universe.
Yeah, it's an open relationship. Yeah. He's frozen. I'm night, so it's just the. Oh God.
I love that reaction.
I just love Chewie shoving Lando of you're not helping.
Because you have to know, some of these reactions are just those are just what Carrie would have done in this situation. Just seriously, guys, she's just the best.
You know not to trust around.
R2-D2, you know better. Don't tell me who I can't talk to. We have an open relationship as well.
And okay, this is where it starts to get a little, the dialogue between Vader and Luke. Here is the start of the bit of the issue. I have issues with the dialogue between Vader and Luke in Jedi, and we will get into that when we get to Jedi.
I'm working on
The
it.
return of Grumpy Jacob.
Yeah, Jedi is not my favorite. Like it's still really good, but it's got issues.
I can't wait that Chris Clark is going to be on. So that's
I
gonna
know.
be interesting.
You know what? I'm just gonna leave the camera on Chris Clark for basically the entire Jabba's palace scene.
Oh, good, yes.
Yeah.
Jabber alert! Jabber alert! Jabber alert!
You might have to.
I think it's not even a question. It's just going.
Can we also, just to get back to Hamill's great acting, just why didn't you tell me? Like, Luke feels so betrayed by Ben. Why did you lie to me about this? Like, you feel bad for the guy.
That's my favorite C-3PO shot.
You're in pieces. And you're having delusions of grandeur.
Hells yeah. Poor Chewie having R2 fall right on him.
I love that reaction shot of, oh,
Yeah, just be like, oh, fuck.
Vader's just like, well,
And
somewhat
everybody is scared, right?
And like how he like turns and then he turns to look back just to make sure, and then he's like, yeah, okay, they're gone.
Yeah, I love that one guy was like, I'm just going to keep doing my work. I didn't let him get away. No.
Oh, poor Malcolm. He's like in the chat all by himself.
Oh.
Come on, guys, who's in the chat?
Yeah, guys, poor Malcolm.
Well, movie's about to finish. This is seriously just like the greatest cliffhanger of all time.
It's just a great ending scene.
Minus
Like-
this little detail, but
You guys brought it
That's
up
just- that's just
yesterday.
weird.
Frank
Yeah.
brought it up. Han might have stolen Lando's clothes. This was
Exactly. He's
Lando's
just like,
ship.
hey.
There was a crate of Lando's clothing on the ship still.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, these were my clothes.
I mean, Billy D. Williams talks about it. He gives, he gives he gives two answers. He gives the real answer, which is the costume designer just thought it'd be cool to dress Lando similar to Han. And the Star Wars fan answer is that is just sort of like smuggler's uniform.
Yeah, because smugglers have a uniform, though.
Yeah, well, that's what he gave.
I like that they added the noise of when he does it. Like, it's still, it doesn't like exactly feel or look human just yet.
Malcolm, for the Jabba alerts, I have that Jabba I drew for the family game night. I think I might just like hold up in front of my camera when he's like, I don't know. We'll see. We're prepared.
Like, can you honestly imagine being in 1980 and this is how the movie ends?
I'd be
And
so
it's-
pissed.
I would be so pissed.
See you
It would be
in
amazing.
3 years, guys.
Just
And not
picture
even
George
that.
Lucas that comes up flipping you off.
And like fans were really upset with The Force Awakens. Like, see you in 2 years. Like, imagine
Yeah.
like this was like original Star Wars, and you had to wait like 3 years.
Well,
for the
okay.
next one.
But now we like expect that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, but also
So
we knew
yeah,
that we
It
were
would happen
getting.
and then we have to wait.
We
But
knew
also,
we were
we had
getting
the
a
internet.
sequel to Force Awakens.
Also, we
one
had the
knew
internet.
this
Good
was getting
point.
a sequel. They didn't think the original was going to get one.
Well, guys, that is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. least in my humble opinion. Let's start with Aaliyah. Thank you for joining us halfway through, but what are your thoughts on this movie?
Well, it's actually been a while since I have watched any of the original Star Wars movies, so I was really excited to come and join, even if it was only for the second half. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I've missed it.
Kristen, what were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I was engineering for the first time, which was fun, and I keep forgetting to like switch the camera. I did pretty good during the middle, and then I got into the movie. So this is like really difficult, guys. I had fun. I liked it. Still the best Star Wars.
Chris Derman, what were your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm just soaking it in right now. I'm soaking in this score because yeah, this is my favorite movie of all time. Well, that's the official answer I have to give because, you know, you can't say a franchise is your favorite movie of all time. Yes, it's Star Wars, and this movie is the reason why. There is not a single thing, quote unquote, wrong with this film. The score is fantastic. The effects still hold up. The acting is phenomenal. The script is amazing. The directing is incredible. The cinematography is gorgeous. How can you possibly say one wrong thing about The Empire Strikes Back? It's just, God, it's so good.
And Matt?
Listen, this is as well my favorite film of all time. I mean, look, I dressed like a freaking character from this movie. I love this film that much. I also like how it looks like a real lightsaber on camera. No, really, there's this thing of there is no such thing as a quote-unquote perfect movie. There are things that nitpick. I brought up a couple of things in the film that don't work. Jacob brought up some of the dialogue that didn't. But overall, the experience I get watching this film, I just love it. Being able to talk with you guys on this watch-along was amazing because I love this movie. This is a movie that, out of all the Star Wars movies, inspired me to care about characters and stories and action scenes that matter to the story and can move things along. And this is just a brilliant piece of filmmaking. I can't say enough good about it.
It absolutely is. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. And guys, we are still at only $335. Please, if you are able to and can donate for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the whole reason we are here this weekend. Please, the link below is there. Please donate if you are able and can. But with that said, we will be back in about 15 to 20 minutes for the last of the original trilogy and the second film today for Return of the Jedi. And we hope you guys will be here to join us for it. Until then, guys, I'm Jacob London. Take care.